From the New York City area, welcome to the Badass Counseling Show, where the master badass himself, Sven Erlandson, takes you deep and gives balm for the soul, baby.
Well, good day to you. Welcome to the Badass Counseling Show. It is great to have you here. Wherever you are joining us from, whether it is Austria or Australia, British Columbia, or Great Britain itself, doggone it. It is just a treat to have you joining us. I am your host, Sven Erlandson. I am joined in studio by KC over in the booth, waving to every one of you, and Rob the Rocket sitting next to me. Rob, what say ye?
Everything's good. Everything's fine. We're not in any trouble. We're good.
Where did that come from?
Just feeling positive.
It leads us to think there must have been trouble recently.
He's so perceptive, isn't he? Everything's good, really, honestly. Yes.
All right, Rob, tell us, please, about Claudio.
I'd be happy to, Sven. Claudio wrote in and said, I have a hard time letting go of the inner dialogue of negativity, ridicule, and generalized anxiety that my mom projected onto me. That phrase of let go or move on is something that I can't grasp onto. That inner child is still controlled and angry at Mom for not giving me unconditional love. Can't move on from hoping that my mom will try and help herself and see what damage she's caused, hoping that she wants to fix it. The letting go needs to be articulated differently, so maybe I can understand. To me, it's simply not letting go of the thought or emotion tied to it. I've written letters to my young self and my mom, and it's helped, but I still hold on to all the emotions.
Claudio, welcome to the show.
How you doing?
Great. Thanks for coming on. I'm going to fire some questions at you, rapid fire here. And I initially had them numbered 1 through 6, but I realized we're going to go in reverse order. So we're going to go through 6 through 1. You mentioned that inner child is still controlled and angry at Mom for not giving me unconditional love. But I want to ask you this. What are you most angry at Mom for, in one sentence or less, if you were to just distill it down?
I feel like I got robbed from a better childhood.
Specifically, what did you get robbed of?
Joy and happiness.
In what form would those have taken that would have made you so much happier? What is the single biggest thing that you wish you had gotten from Mom? Be as specific as you can.
Her being okay with what I am and what I'm doing and just me.
And what was the single biggest thing that she was not okay with about you?
My interests, that they didn't follow hers of what my life was supposed to be, her projected, thoughts or agenda.
Her agenda, okay. That inner child is still controlled and angry at Mom for not giving me unconditional love. That inner child is still controlled. How are you controlled? How is that inner child controlled?
I still hear the ridicule, talking down to the bad arguments. I still hear those things. It's still there. Like I said, I guess it's control is the word. I still hear it. All the anxieties.
And when you say ridicule and talking down to, that is from your mother, and you're saying, and so this wasn't just that she didn't like your interests and that your interests were not her interests and that you weren't on her agenda. And that what you were saying before, that your interests weren't her interests and you weren't on her agenda, that likely at the earliest, I'm betting, normally that would come around 13, 14, at the very earliest, around junior high, when we begin to sort of differentiate ourselves from our parents. But the ridicule, talking down, and bad arguments, especially ridicule and talking down, did that start much earlier than junior high? Was that was that there from the beginning?
Yeah, like 5 to 8, or 5 and on, 8 and on, really, really little.
And so at the youngest of ages, what are the top 1 or 2 things that you most remember being ridiculed for, or her talking down to you for? What's the biggest thing that rings in your head from those earliest days?
oh God, like just didn't approve of anything that I wanted to do. All my activities, my friends, my interests, who I looked up to, and all those things. It was just like I couldn't win.
No matter what you did.
Pretty much. What's weird is like I still did what I wanted to do, but I felt guilty for doing what I wanted to do
Mm.
all the time.
And presumably that is obviously what still persists today.
I guess in a way, yeah. I mean, not feeling safe, or lack of a better word.
And
Yeah.
when you say
So,
safe, not feeling safe, which is really a cool thing to hear you say, because that's generally not something you'd hear a guy say.
it's
Most
12.
women wouldn't think a guy wouldn't feel safe, right? When you say not feeling safe, though, what do you mean?
Yeah, not like I'm gonna get beat up or anything,
Right.
but um, not. Oh my God, I'm trying to
Take
put
your
this
time.
into
You're doing
words.
great. Take
Yeah,
your time.
trying to put this into words. Just not feeling the approval from a different source, a parent or something, that what I'm doing is okay in the long run, and I'm going to be quote unquote safe, in my life.
And what percent of your life presently, first of all, how old are you?
37.
Okay, what percent of your life is spent trying to get approval from an outside source, from someone other than yourself?
Well, not like physically, but like mentally. It's just I hear that my ma chirping in the background all the time.
And I guess what I
It
mean
sucks.
is through what you do, through your work, through how you look,
Yeah.
I'll be very honest, I'm vain. So part of how I get my own sense of approval is, the occasional look from a gal or a guy will say, oh shit, Sven, you got big triceps or something like that. That gives me a sense of self-worth. Now, how much I
Yeah.
let that control me is a different issue, or how much I bend my life to get that is a different issue. But what percent of your life, if you're being totally honest, is spent trying to get the approval? Because you said I spent my life not feeling safe and basically trying so hard to get the approval from a different source. So what percent of your life today is spent trying to get approval from a different source, from an external source?
If you asked me this question a week ago, I would say probably about 80%. But after realizing a few things the last week or so, I would probably say now it's different. It's probably, I don't know, low 40s.
Okay, we'll say 42% then.
Okay.
And what is the single biggest thing you realized? I got to ask.
You know, I was having a really good conversation with my wife about not actually your book, Love Cup, but she was mentioning something about filling our both of our love cups, making sure we're filling our cups, pouring into our each other's. And it got me thinking about, my mom and what was going on in my childhood. There was constant arguing, her and my dad. I'm the only child.
Hmm.
Constant arguing, and then it kind of bled into me. And I had this, I don't know, realization that I think my mom was trying to get her love cup filled by my dad and me, and it never happened. And
Hmm.
I think the resentment cap came from that, and
Hmm.
it just snowballed in just a big shitstorm.
And why did that have the effect of causing you in the last week? Why did that have that effect on you of causing you to not need approval so much? What was the correlation between that insight that she was trying to get her approval from you guys and where you are today?
I'm not responsible for filling her love cup.
That's right.
I'm the only real person is, I'm responsible for myself and obviously making sure my needs and cup is being filled and my wife's love cup being filled too.
Hmm.
Not 100% though. That's the thing. I think that's what the stick was with my mom. I think it was very dependent on 100% from me, 100% from my dad,
Yeah.
and it didn't happen.
Right. And
It's just not realistic,
right.
I
And
guess.
well, and plus it's not the child's job to pour love into the parent's love cup. It is the parent's job to pour love into the child's love cup. And so I got to ask, why did she hate you so much?
Maybe because that that void wasn't filled, or whatever needed she needed wasn't filled. I really don't know.
Okay.
That's a
And
good question.
let me ask, if you were, as far as you know, were you planned? Were you an accident?
I don't think I was an accident.
Okay, you were planned.
But it may have been one of those things like, well, maybe we should have a kid. And
Did
then,
you cost her career? Did you cost her independence? Did she lose her ability to have a second child as a result of you? Did you look like your father? Any of those things?
I mean, I act like my dad. I sound like my dad, but I don't think I caused any, harm in that
And
way.
I'm
I
not
don't
saying
think.
you caused harm. What I'm
Well,
saying
right.
is, right, that
Yeah.
oftentimes a parent will then, well, you child, you stole my career because I had to stay home and take
Right.
care of you. It's like, well, the kid didn't do anything, lady. You just fucking made that
Right.
bullshit up, right? You
Well,
can't blame
right.
the kid, right? Okay, so her void wasn't filled. All right, so back to my other questions then we'll come back around to that one.
Yeah.
You said, I have a hard time letting go of the inner dialogue of negativity, ridicule, and generalized anxiety that my mom projected onto me. You sort of already explained how she did that, through the ridicule, through the talking down to you, and so forth. So that one is answered. And then I wanted to ask you, where was Dad in all of this? When Mom's doing all this shit to you, where's your old man?
He's there. He's in the shitstorm with me. It was really weird. Me and him, we got, just we called it a warpath. It was just, we were both in my mom's warpath all the time. And he was there. I do, after, realizing it, like, obviously my dad should have just done something. I don't know what that done something is, but could have stopped it.
Oh, there's no
But
question. He could have gotten you the
yeah.
fuck out of there.
Oh yeah. But I feel bad. He just took it.
You wait. Whoa, Tiger, hold on here. You feel bad? Isn't
I,
that fascinating?
I mean, it is,
Just let's what, for clarity's sake. Your father is how old? 60 what?
70.
He's 70. All right. Just
Yeah.
for the record, your dad is 70 and you're 37. All right. I have a child who's 34. You would be a sibling. You're old enough to be, or young enough to be, one of my kids. All right. And I know for fact that you came of age in the 90s, and someone getting a child out of an abusive situation in the 90s was a slam dunk. Sorry, not hard to do in the United States.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I mean,
or at least taking that parent to court and making it public, or at the very least standing in front of the child rather than with the child, or even, well, let me ask you this. Who took the bigger brunt of, who ate more shit from Mom? You
ooh.
or Dad?
Hmm.
You have to think about it.
I do. Yeah.
Okay,
When
and
my
there's
dad,
nothing wrong with it. I'm not dogging you, brother. Okay, break this down into percentages. What percent of shit did you eat growing up? What percent did Claudio eat? And what percent did Daddy-O eat?
I'd say 50-50, because when my
I'm not
dad
going to
was
let
at
you
work.
choose 50-50. You can even choose
Okay.
51 if you want to, but you
All
can't
right.
choose
Well, okay.
50-50.
So my dad would take more. So let's say, God, I don't even know.
Are you saying that because you feel bad for him? Because a minute ago you said
No,
you
no,
feel
no,
bad for
no,
him.
no. He definitely, I would say, took the brunt of it. I
But
guess
wait a minute,
she
you
took,
just said 50-50. How can you now say he took the brunt of it?
uh, I guess he would have to take 60% of it.
Fine, I'll give you 60%. All right.
Yeah.
So now I want to adjust those numbers by asking you this question.
Okay.
And this is kind of a tweaky question, but play with me here, all right? Relative to the individual's ability to handle the shit being thrown at him, who ate more shit? So he's a grown ass
Right.
motherfucking man. It's 30 years ago. Let's say you're just 7, just for easy math. 30 years ago, you're fucking 7. He's a 40-year-old motherfucking man. You aren't even as old right now as he was when he had a 7-year-old.
Yeah.
And so he was 40, he had a 7-year-old who, relative to a 7-year-old's ability to eat 40% of mom's shit and a 40-year-old's ability to eat 60% of mom's shit, who was really eating more of mom's shit? Who felt the greater burden?
I was.
You goddamn right.
I was for sure.
Goddamn right.
Yeah. Yeah, it was, just a lot of chaos.
That's
I
right.
get that.
Oh, whoa. Chaos. It wasn't chaos. It was fucking abuse, and your old man did not do the very first job of parenting.
Yeah.
And the very first you're uncomfortable. You are fucking uncomfortable. The mere fact that you said, yeah, was you basically saying, I don't like calling out the old man. I don't like, hey, dad was getting his share. I feel bad for dad. Am I correct?
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, but you were a kid. I want you to fucking justify. Okay, let's do this. You're married.
Yeah.
Let's just randomly pretend that you and your wife decided to have a kid someday. You don't have kids right now, I assume. You would have said that. Right, okay. Let's assume you decide to have a child. Let's assume you decide to have 2 children. Okay? And let's say you're at, I don't know, you're at your local Swedish restaurant, because I'm sure wherever you are, they have lots of Swedish restaurants. And you're at your local Swedish restaurant eating good Swedish fare, and somebody walks up and starts yelling at your 7-year-old child and you. Now, is it likely that you would just sort of take it?
Oh, hell no.
No, hell no, right. You would step in, tell the person to go fuck themselves, blah, 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 blah. Now let's up the ante. Let's say your own wife, whom you love, adore. I'm sure she is a wonderful person, but for whatever reason, she goes haywire and she starts getting in the habit of yelling at your child, berating, putting down, belittling your child.
Well, because I lived it, that it just wouldn't be acceptable.
It wouldn't be acceptable, so you would step in and protect your child.
Yeah.
I see.
Because I know what kind of damage it does.
I see. And so your dad did not step in and protect you. So you are fundamentally saying that you would raise your child differently from how your dad raised you.
110%.
So you are fundamentally indicting your father. If he did a great fucking job, you would mirror his actions. So you doing differently, saying, I don't like how he did it wrong.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Well, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
I know you wanted to beat the fuck out of mom today. There's still time for mom. But I want to ask you this. Did your dad generally treat people well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what did he do for a living, just out of curiosity?
He worked with his hands.
Good man, honest man, it sounds like. Yeah. And worked with his hands. That's good. And so good, honest man, worked with his hands and so on and so forth. And a lot of times when guys work with their hands, they're straight up guys. They do the right thing.
Yeah. I mean, he was the main breadwinner of the house. He was main income, all that.
The usual shit. Right.
Yeah.
But he didn't protect his son.
Yeah.
What are you feeling right now? Give me a fucking feeling word. Besides, I want to wring Sven's neck. Give me a fucking feeling word.
These aren't new feelings.
Then why the fuck are you struggling with them so much?
I don't know. I just don't want to,
I don't want to what? I don't want to what?
I mean, I guess I don't want to admit it, maybe. I mean,
what don't you want to admit? In one sentence or less, what do you not want to admit? In one sentence or less.
My dad didn't do his job.
He didn't do his job.
Yeah. I mean,
and what above all else was his job?
Put me first. Or protect me, obviously.
No, that's right. And put me first.
Yeah.
So what or who did he put first?
That's a good question.
What would have happened if he would have stepped in front of you and said, honey, I love you, but don't you yell at the boy even one more time or I'm getting him the fuck out of here. Woman, back the fuck down.
I wish that happened.
I'm sure you did. You wish that would have happened. What would have happened if he would have done that? What would her response likely have been? You know her as well as anyone.
Oh, I don't even know.
Speculate.
That's
Speculate.
it would probably be some type of guilt trip that she's leaving or something along those lines. I really don't know.
Okay.
That's something that, I honestly never even thought of
And
what would have happened.
right. And so, but clearly somewhere in him, he feared something happening if he did. He chose every single time to not do it. So let's say her guilt tripping or potentially threatening leaving. So that implies that he feared her leaving, or he feared her raging on him. If she was already raging on him, he feared her raging on him. Sure. So fundamentally, wouldn't that imply that he was protecting himself?
Yeah. I mean, it would imply that.
At the expense of the boy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So he was fundamentally conveying the message, I'm going to protect myself at the expense of your protection.
Yeah.
I matter. My safety matters more than yours. And it's couched as, in your head, it's couched as, mom's on the warpath, and to use your words, he's in it with me. You saw you both together as in it together. It's not how it's supposed to be. There is no in it together.
No, it shouldn't have been. Yeah. I mean, sometimes we just looked at each other and be like, what the hell is she talking about? We were like brothers.
Right. And it's not supposed to be that. It's supposed to be, son, you go in the foxhole. This war ends now. I'm walking straight into the cannons, and I'm going to shut this shit down.
Yeah.
And you said, that's right. You said, I wish it would have happened.
Yeah.
That's right. And so I want to know, give me a feeling word. Don't tell me what you're thinking. I want to know what you're feeling as we're having this discussion about Dad and how he not only didn't do his job, he chose himself and his own safety over you. And you literally used the phrase earlier, I am not feeling safe. To which you track to mom. Of course, she was attacking you, but the person that didn't make you feel safe was the person whose job it was to protect you in the face of an enemy. And it's a shame your mother was your own mother was your enemy, but Dad didn't protect you. It was your dad who didn't make you feel safe. So in light of all this, give me a feeling word for what you're feeling.
It's sad. I'm sad.
What's the saddest part?
That I didn't have a mature enough parents to realize this situation.
Wait, mature enough to realize, what did your dad not realize? That your mom was a raging fucking asshole?
No, realizing that, well, yeah, in a nutshell, sure, that the situation that the kid is in right now is not right.
Okay. And on that note, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
At 27, I've been through the ringer. I've been cheated on by a girlfriend and later a boyfriend. And honestly, I was tired of everyone telling me I had to either fix it or forget them. I didn't need a side to choose. I needed a way to heal. I started reading a book called Cheating Sucks, and for the first time, the pressure disappeared. It doesn't push me to move on, and it doesn't force me to stay. It just goes deep, into the parts of the heartbreak no one talks about. If you're tired of the stay or go debate and just want to feel whole again, you need to read this. Head over to badasscounseling.com and get your copy of Cheating Sucks today. Audiobook and paperback. Start your own path to healing.
This show provides soul counseling intended to entertain and inform and is not medical advice. Now, back to the badass.
We are back with Claudio. Claudio, you said that I'm sad that my parents weren't mature enough to realize that this situation is not right. In one sentence, what was Dad's situation like growing up? In one sentence. His situation growing up. When he was growing up.
I'm from what I've been told, it wasn't very good.
And by wasn't very good, you roughly mean?
Not stable parents.
Okay, not stable. And you presumably know that because your dad told you that. Is that correct?
My mom explained a few, times, my dad didn't have the greatest childhood
And the only
growing
way
up.
she would know that would be if he told her that, right?
That, or, when they were obviously dating or something, that she experienced whatever
Okay.
going on in their household. I really don't know.
I guess what I'm wondering is, do you think your dad was aware of the fact that his childhood wasn't very good?
Oh yeah.
Okay. And your mom, do you think, what was her childhood like in one sentence or less?
I don't think it was, you know, rainbows and butterflies. Uh, to be honest with you, I really don't know the history.
And you've received no indications of this story from her, anything at all?
Well, I think that her childhood was portrayed as it was a really good childhood, but someone who acts like that,
Right. Exactly.
it's not possible.
Right. Okay. And so then, when you said earlier that you feel really sad that mom and dad weren't mature enough to realize this situation is not right, I find that a little difficult to believe since dad was well aware that his own childhood wasn't good enough. And if he's got this woman raging on him and he comes up with the term, hey, we're in it together and mom's on a war path, not a word a child would likely come up with on their own. Might have picked it up at school, but probably, that was you guys' shared phrase. So dad was well aware that this is not right. No, he was aware. He was mature enough to be aware that this is not right. He was aware enough to know that he didn't like it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he didn't
no.
like it.
So it wasn't about maturity and it wasn't about not being aware it wasn't right.
And
It was that
didn't
he
act on that.
didn't act. So when someone needs to be protected, when a hard thing needs to be done in the face of an enemy or in the face of potentially my wife might leave me or she might yell at me, when someone doesn't stand up and protect someone else, what do we call that person?
Scared.
Right. And what's a word sometimes used for someone who's scared to do the right thing and they don't do it?
Guess
Yep.
shamed.
Yeah, shamed. Yep. Scared,
Yeah.
coward.
Yeah, yeah.
Was your dad a coward as you see it? Maybe you don't.
To my mom, which was strange. But everywhere else,
When it came to protecting his son so that his
yeah,
son could feel safe in the world, was your father a coward? Yes or no?
I guess. Yeah.
Now, what percent of what we've discussed up to this point do you not agree with?
I agree with it, sure. It's hard to hear, obviously.
Right.
I love my dad, but
This isn't an issue of love. This isn't an
yeah,
issue of love. Have
yeah.
you and your wife ever had arguments?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Okay, how long you guys been married?
2 years.
2 years. So you've had arguments, right?
Oh yeah.
And in your arguments, when she's calling you a dirty, rotten bastard, whatever, right? And you wanna just woman, you're just like feeling all that anger at her. During those times when you're angry at her, do you not love her?
No, it never stops.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is it is possible to have mixed feelings for a person, to simultaneously love them and be angry, or even, I'm not saying you do with her, but hate somebody. You could love and hate somebody at the same time. You could love them
Oh
and
yeah.
okay. So I'm
Yeah.
not saying you don't love your father. That's not even
Yeah.
on the table. I have no doubt. You've spoken of him with affection. I'm not disputing that 1 ounce.
Yeah.
What's fascinating, however, you got to admit, it's fascinating how easy it is for you to speak truth, speak ill of your mother, yet how difficult it is for you to speak ill of your father, which is fine, nothing wrong with that. And the reason you give for why it's so hard for you to do it with your father is because, well, I still love him, which implies if you're speaking ill of your mother, seems to imply you don't still love her.
I mean, I do love my mom.
Then why is it so fucking easy with your mom, but it's not so easy with your dad?
I don't know.
Or are you just saying I do still love her because I guess that's what I say?
No, I don't think I could. I don't. Or
Okay.
I think I could hate my mom.
Okay,
But-
then let me ask you this: if you were in, I'm from the far north, so I'll choose a city from the north or from the Midwest. We'll just randomly choose Chicago. I'm in the New York City area. We'll choose a different city this time. If you happen to be in Chicago, let's just randomly say, and let's say you're reading the newspaper one morning and it says that somebody beat up an old woman and stole her purse and beat her up. Okay, and in the story, however, it says that street cameras caught the whole act on film, and it also showed that 30 feet away there was a police officer watching it and didn't step in and do anything. Who commits the greater crime, the person who beats up the old woman and steals her purse, or the police officer who doesn't stop the crime?
The cop.
In the case of your parents, who commits the greater crime? The person yelling at, berating, talking down to, ridiculing the child, or the person who does, or the cop who doesn't stop it, metaphorically speaking, cop, the parent who doesn't stop it. Who for you, and only you can answer this question for you, who for you commits the greater crime?
I mean, on paper, it's dad, but it feels like the crime is just. I don't know. It's a tough one. They're both committing a crime.
They are,
I don't
aren't
know.
they? Okay, so then
Yeah.
I'm going to go easy on you. What percent of the crime committed against you, of robbing you of that unconditional love, robbing you of a safe childhood, robbing you of support, and feeling like your interests and who you are is good? What percent of the crime was committed? What percent of the culpability for that crime is mom, and what percent of the culpability is dad?
Oh, it's 90% my mom.
And yet just a second ago, you said on paper, the greater crime is your dad. Just a second ago.
I mean, yeah.
All right, fair enough.
I mean,
Fair enough. All right. Well, then you are saying, you have said in your write-up, I'm going to let that one go. We're going to let go of the dad thread. I honestly believe that your biggest blockage inside of you is potentially the buried rage you have at your father. And again, I'm not saying you don't love him, but
I very well could be.
and none of that ever has to come out to the living, breathing person. None of it.
Right.
But it does have to come out, because the bottom line is he didn't do what you have sworn that you would do if it came to it, that you would protect your child, your daughter, your son, your non-binary child at all costs. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
All
I'd
right.
catch a charge for my son
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
or daughter, whoever.
Right. And so back to the original equation then that you said, I can't move on from hoping that my mom will try and help herself to see what damage she caused, hoping that she wants to fix it. Twice you use the word hope. And then but it's that statement, can't move on from hoping that my mom will try and help herself. Help herself. If I'm your mom, I'm like, what's in it for me? How does this help me? This doesn't help me. This helps you. Because you get me acknowledging your supposed worth and the importance of your interests and who you are. But what's in it for me? Why did you say it as help herself?
I mean, I want to see my mom help herself because I can't do it. I know that.
But it's
been
not
down-
that you want her to help herself because that's the end goal. The end goal is, yes, help herself so that she'll meet my needs.
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting when children are young, oftentimes a child, if a parent has anxiety, or if a parent has a lot of problems, or if a parent worries a lot, or is depressed, or whatever it might be, a child will naturally do what's in their power to try to help the parent, to take away their pain. This is why little children become the family comedian, or another child might become mommy's or daddy's little psychologist, or I become, mommy's little dolly. Come on, little dolly, be my best friend. Or daddy's little, whatever. Make daddy proud, all these things. Why? Because if I can take dad's pain away, if I can take mom's pain away, the child doesn't know this is why they're doing it. If I can make them happy, at the very least, they'll stop hurting me. But at the very most, then they'll give me love. So I'm going to take care of them so that then they'll take care of me. And here you are, still in that same cycle, which is totally understandable. I get clients in their 70s or 80s still doing this, so don't worry about it. But here's the thing, that hoping my mom will try and help herself, hoping that she wants to fix it. And so what do you think, above all else, you're hoping for? What are you still wanting, in one sentence or less, above all else, from dear old mom?
I'm going to use that word again, that safe childhood, or that safe relationship.
And how would that, if you got that safe relationship from mom, just in one sentence, what would that look like? What are we talking about now for a 37-year-old man? What does that look like in one sentence?
Being able to go to her for meaningful advice, and not being scared to being judged or any of, just normal conversation.
Okay. And not be scared of being judged. So what % do you still fear your mother?
Oh, God. Yeah, I still probably 75%.
Isn't that fascinating? Is your mother a very large and dominating, powerful, extraordinarily physically strong woman?
No.
Is your mother smaller than you?
Smarter, you said?
Smaller, sorry.
Oh, smaller? Yeah. I mean,
so if you two got in a fight, could you waste her?
Yes.
Okay, so you could waste your mom, and yet you are 75% afraid of your mom. And
I'm aware.
What's that? Okay.
I'm aware.
Oh, I'll bet you are. And so, in one sentence or less, how is a grown-ass, smart guy who could waste the other person, totally waste her? Not that you ever would, of course. But if push came to shove, right, and she pulled a knife on you, let's say, or whatever, how the hell are you 75%? What are you most afraid of in one sentence or less? Because it's not physical, obviously. So what, in one sentence or less, are you most afraid of from your mother?
Her not loving me anymore.
Right.
There's been times when I was very young, I got yelled at so hard that I literally asked her, "Do you love me still?"
Her not loving me anymore. And what % do you actually believe that she does love you?
I don't know. Gosh.
Be honest, motherfucker. Be fucking honest. What % do you actually believe she does love you?
35?
And if that number weren't quite accurate, what would a more accurate number be?
I really don't know. That's a tough question to even.
It is a hard question, but I ask hard questions, and you came on the fucking show. So if the 35% weren't quite accurate, if there were an even more accurate number, what % do you believe your mom actually does love you? If 35% weren't quite accurate, what's a more accurate number?
25? I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. I know it's a close spread there, but.
Well, no, that's a pretty significant spread. Okay. So what that says then is actually what that makes me want to ask is this: what evidence do you have at age 37 that your mother loves you?
Not much.
But what specifically do you have?
Like physical, or like
Anything. How do you know your mom loves you 25%? How do you know that?
I don't know that. It's just verbally. I mean,
So she says,
you know,
I love you.
yeah, yeah,
It's just verbally.
yeah.
And when she says that, or even now, do you believe it?
I mean, it's hard to believe. How can you, believe that when nothing has been even tried to heal our relationship?
Okay. And what percent when you were growing up, roughly ages 0 to 12, randomly, what percent did you feel loved growing up by your mother?
You don't like 50, but it's right there, I guess, half the time.
You did.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
I did. Okay, the reason why I say that is because, I didn't go without when I was a kid, but
Mm-hmm.
the house was just the atmosphere was just a chaotic mental mess where it just left you, you know, I don't know, just down.
Okay. And so framing it as, I never went without, was the child really thinking that, or was all the child could see was a chaotic mental mess and how fucking miserable and unsafe they felt? So, in other words,
Oh,
not necessarily looking back and, well, gee, I guess my needs were provided for.
right.
That child at age 9, at age 7, what percent did little Claudio feel loved by his mother? Be honest.
That's a hard question.
It is a hard question. Step up, brother.
40-ish, somewhere around there, 40-ish, 45.
And what evidence did you have for the 40-ish percent that you were loved? What evidence did that 7-year-old, 9-year-old boy have that made him think he was loved 40-ish percent?
I mean, just doing simple parent things, taking me to places that I needed to go and somewhat supporting me in some things that I did.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay, fair. And so you are still wanting from mom, you are still wanting a safe relationship and where you can go to her for advice. Do you really actually need her advice?
no, I don't need a 12-year-old's advice.
Well, no. I mean now. Do you need your mom's
Yeah.
advice? Oh, you do?
I mean, sometimes I would.
Okay, fair.
I mean, who would
So
want to
if you,
bounce a few
sure,
things
no, that's
off your
fair.
mom?
That's fair.
Yeah.
So if you had a safe relationship with your mom, if you got that, then what? What would change either outside of you or inside of you? How would that feel inside of you, or what would change out here in your life if you finally had a safe relationship with your mom? How would your life change either internally or externally?
I'd be able to take a breath and not be, feel a little bit more safer about, this crazy world. And you could bounce something off your ma, you know?
Okay, and if you were able to take a breath and feel safer in this crazy world, then what? What would change either outside of you or internally? What would you feel inside of you?
That tension just kind of take a step back a little bit, maybe just live life a little bit easier instead of being so neurotic and, anxiety ridden, all those, words.
And if you took life a bit easier and weren't as neurotic, then what changes either outside of you or inside of you? How would that feel if you could take life easier and be not as neurotic?
I would have some joy, some enjoyment out of life. Maybe see, a brighter side of things.
Hmm. And if you had some joy in life and saw the brighter side of things, then how would you live your life outside of you, or how would that feel inside of you?
It would feel excellent. I mean, it would be a relief.
And it would be fundamentally a relief of what?
Not being nervous. Not being nervous, a nervous person. It's a terrible feeling just to be a nervous person.
And the nervousness, that general nervousness that you have, nervousness is sort of in the anxiety family, sort of in the fear family. What's at the root of the nervousness? What are you most afraid of that keeps you nervous your whole life? What's really going on when you're nervous most of your life? What are you afraid of?
I'm scared I'm not doing a good enough job in life, or scared enough to, end up like my mom.
Not doing a good
Just
enough job in life and scared I'm going to end up like my mom.
Yeah.
And
Just, not happy with life, just miserable. I don't want to repeat history at all costs.
and so not doing good enough, end up like my mom, end up miserable. Okay. And so that's what the nervousness is from. So basically, you want the safe relationship with your mom so that you can take a breath and feel safer in the world. Then you would feel a release of the tension and you could take a step back. Then you would feel easier and you would feel not as neurotic. Then you would feel joy as a result and you could look on the brighter side of life and that would feel like a relief and you would no longer be as nervous. So presumably some peace would finally come. So in order for you to have peace and relief and joy in life, the only way is for you to get this relationship with your mother. Everything is riding on you getting this relationship with your mother, which is why at 37, and I'm not dogging you for this, dude. I get clients well into their old age doing the exact same thing for a dead parent, no lie. So I'm not dogging you, all right? But this is why you continue to hold out hope, why you continue to trail behind mom like a puppy saying, please love me today. Please, please love me. Please love me. I'll do anything. Please, 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 please. Maybe today is the day that mom sees me and appreciates me for who I am. Well, maybe, okay, it wasn't yesterday. Maybe today is the day. Maybe today is the day. You keep hoping and hoping and hoping that maybe today is the day that mom sees me and loves me for who I am. And the reason you keep doing that is because your entire motherfucking miserable existence rides on it. You cannot have joy. No matter how wonderful your wife is, no matter how good your job and your buddies are, inside you have this absence of joy. You have this neurosis. You have this nervousness, this fear that I am not good enough, that I'm going to end up like her, that I'm going to end up fucking being miserable. And as a result, you are miserable. As a result, you have the nervousness. As a result, you spend your days living in fear. Because you believe that one person and only one person holds the golden key to the jail cell that they fucking locked you in when you were a child, and written into every bar on that jail cell are the words, you're not good enough. You're a disappointment. I don't like you the way you are. You're not worth protecting. You're not as important as I am. You're not lovable the way you are. All those messages that you fucking got growing up and that have been repeated or implied your entire fucking life. You are locked in that cell and she has the golden key. And unless in your brain, unless she comes and unlocks that cell and tells you, you are my good son in whom I am well pleased, and acknowledges the pain that she has caused you, you're fucked. And your relationship with your wife is fucked. And if you have kids, you're fucked. And your career, no matter how high you rise, is fucked. Because deep down, you have that fucking hole that she punctured and dad didn't repair. And dad still hasn't repaired by telling her to back the fuck down and leave my son alone. All right. And so the bottom line is, you're fucked.
Sweet. How do I not care that she has the key?
Well, first of all, the problem is that the jail cell bars, they don't exist. They've never existed. They were never true. They taught a 5-year-old boy a fucking lie. They taught him that he wasn't good enough. Now, I don't know if you spend much time around kids, or if you coach sports, or if you have nieces or nephews or anything like that. But there ain't a 5-year-old alive. I don't care what disease they have. I don't care how rambunctious or snotty they can be. I don't care how cranky they can be on their worst day. I don't care how shitty they are at sports or at playing the fucking cello. There ain't a kid alive, not one in the history of humanity, who was unlovable, who was not worthy of love, who wasn't great the way they were. Every child needs to be shaped and taught good manners and shit like that, of course. That's not what we're talking about here. That's not what you got. You got the message of fundamentally, I don't like who you are, little boy. And dad's message was, you ain't fucking worth protecting. I'm going to save myself. All men for themselves, and boys, well, you can go fuck yourself. And so those messages, those bars, They were a lie. You were taught to believe a lie that doesn't even exist. It was never true. I got news for you, sugar tits. You were a beautiful boy. You were sweet. You were kind. You were cute as a button. You were ornery when you didn't get a nap. You'd steal a little extra cookie if you could, like every other little boy. You were playful. You were creative. There wasn't a goddamn thing wrong with you. Nothing. There never was, and there still isn't. They taught you a lie. And so even the notion that a golden key is needed is a myth. The notion that you need anything from your mother is a myth. Now, you can want it. That's fine. Nothing wrong with wanting it. But the notion that you need it was a lie to begin with. Back then, you did need it. And you needed Dad to give you that confirmation of your worth by standing in front of her and saying, stop hurting my son. And you needed Mom to back down. You needed it then. But the truth is, it's been a lie. There isn't a goddamn thing wrong with you, Claudio. There never was.
Yeah, it's a tough thing to realize that I know this, and deep down, there's nothing wrong with me. There's nothing.
Right.
And I just hold myself back.
Right. Well, it's no, but that's not it. No, technically that's not true. You aren't holding yourself back. Those voices inside of you that tell you that you are conditioned to believe, just technically, I know you know this, but technically,
true. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so let me ask you this. Recognizing you're not ever going to get what you want from your mother. She is never going to confirm your worth. And your dad, are they still married, by the way?
Yeah.
He is never going to stand up and shut her the fuck down and tell her. He should be the therapist you're longing for and saying, you know what, woman, it's time. You need to shut the fuck up and you need to go to your boy and atone for your sin, woman. Because what you did, and I need to go atone for him even more than you do, because I didn't protect him. But neither one of them. And just, that raises, I just have like two questions left for you, but that raises one question. Which for you is worse? That they did that shit back then, or that they haven't done a goddamn thing to atone for it since?
Oh, that they haven't done a fucking thing.
Exactly. So it's not just that they were bad parents then. They continue to be bad parents now. Dad continues to protect himself at the expense of you. Today, Mom continues to harm her child at the expense of you. You have zero fucking chance of ever getting your needs met by them. Zero. 0.00001%. And what that means is that is simultaneously the saddest day of your life and the most liberating day of your life. The reason it's the saddest, I think, is pretty obvious. They're never going to come with the golden key. The reason it's the most liberating day of your life is because now you can finally stop living your life trying to win their approval. You can stop trying and hoping that they will be the parents you always wanted them to be. And you've maybe heard me say this before on the show, and I'm going to say it to you again. When the child comes out of the womb, the child innately believes, Mom and Dad are good, Mom and Dad love me. Therefore, as that child is aging to like 5, like you said, 8, 10, 14, as the child ages, if I'm not getting that love, if this is me and I'm not getting that love, Mom and Dad love me. Mom and Dad are good. So if I'm not getting that love, something must be wrong with me. I'm the problem. I'm at fault. And if they actually add those messages to it, you are at fault. You do suck. Then the child believes I'm the problem. Mom and Dad aren't the fault. They love me. They're good. But the problem with that equation, as you yourself have said today, I 25% feel loved right now by my mom. I 40-ish% felt loved as a child. 40-ish% feeling loved by the parent, that does not qualify as a parent loves a child. That does not qualify as good parenting. Your mom was not a good parent. Putting down your child, ridiculing, talking down to your child, and your dad not protecting you. There is no definition of good parenting that those things fit under. They were not good, and Mom did not love you. Therefore, that child not receiving love, child believes I'm at fault, I'm the problem. You were never the problem. They did not love you. To this day, they love and protect themselves more than they love and protect you.
How do I believe that I'm not the problem?
You don't have to believe it. All you have to do is have the courage to look at the truth of A, that is not love. B, they were not good parents. C, how does that really honestly make me feel? Even though it makes me feel uncomfortable, even though I feel I don't want to admit it, you have to go into, be really fucking honest. If we had time, I would have taken you into, okay, so what are you really feeling? I would have taken you into, especially with regard to dad, because that's the one you're protecting most. I would take you into, how are you really feeling? And disgorging all those feelings. And I would start with that and not, so A, focusing on the past regarding mom, focusing on the past regarding dad, and then focusing on right now, because you yourself just fucking said the greater crime is they're not doing anything right now. And if that doesn't make you fucking livid, you're full of shit, because you just said it's the greater crime. And you're able to be mad at mom from back then, so you must be doubly mad at mom now. And where's all the fucking anger and sadness over mom and dad now? So all you got to do is just admit or begin to look at, mom and dad did not love me, mom and dad were not good, and then also begin to bring up and flush out, using the journaling, using the letter writing, flush out those feelings that go along with it. You just do that. If you do just that, everything changes. Because what you're fundamentally doing is, for the first time in your life, you're not protecting anyone anymore except that little boy. You're not, all you're doing is just looking at the truth. All I want is the truth. All I ask of you is, for the first time in your life, just look at the truth. Whatever it is, I'm willing to look at the truth. That's all you have to do. And if you look at the truth, which includes the feelings of that little boy and your own sense of protection of that little boy, because fundamentally now you have to go back. You have to give that boy a hug, give him a big fucking kiss, because no one knows him better than you. And you have to stand in front of him, and you have to call out your mom, and you have to call out your dad. And I don't mean the living, breathing people. I mean the parents of back then.
No.
And you have to protect that boy. That's your job. And you got to say, boy, I'm getting you out of here. Come on, let's go. Get your shit. Get your favorite fucking G.I. Joe doll. Get your football. Get your fucking, I know what team you support. Grab that stupid helmet. Come on, let's go. All right? I'm a Vikings fan. I can say that about your team. And come on, boy, let's go. And you're getting them out of there. You do that, everything changes. In fact, I want to bring you back on the show after you've done that. You fucking do that work. I guarantee you, shit'll begin to shift. One final question. Do you have a final question for me?
No, it was happy, man.
Then what are you feeling right now? Give me a feeling word.
Just a word. I mean, I guess I have a sentence, but like, how am I gonna get that kid? How am I gonna get that little kid to believe me that everything is fine currently? Like you said, go grab that little your younger
Just go
version
back.
of yourself.
Go back. Okay, go back. Just start by writing him a letter, and I want you to take someone with you. I want you to write a letter first. First, I want you to write a letter to your 80-year-old self. I want you to summon your 80-year-old self. And I want you to write a letter and ask of that person, or say to that 80-year-old Claudio whatever you need to say, and say, I need your help. I need your wisdom. We need to go back. I just need you behind me. I got the youth, I got the strength, but you got the wisdom, and I need you to go with me, please, sir.
Yeah.
And let your 80-year-old self, and then I want you to write a letter with your 80-year-old self. I know this sounds dopey as fuck. Just trust me.
Well, I've done it to myself. I have wrote a letter to my younger self. It was hard. But
this one's going to be different, because it's in light of the fact of what you've learned today and what I've forced you to look at, kicking and screaming. And I want you to go back, and you're going to write a letter now to that 5-year-old, to that 7-year-old self. And you're going to say, and you're going to tell him, I love you, son. I love you. And he's not your son, but he's you. And you're a good boy, and you're sweet, and you're kind, and they got no right to do this. And they're fucked, and there's no excuse. And I'm not going to stand up for daddy anymore. What they're doing is wrong. There's just no excuse. Yes, daddy can be nice, but it's easy to be nice, when you're, next to mom, the ogre. But he's not protecting us either, and I'm getting you out of here. And you decide what you need to do. Because I'm betting that you and your wife have a nice, comfortable life there, and I'll bet there's extra room there at your house for that little boy to come and stay. And I don't know what that means. Maybe that means you pull something out of your fucking storage that was your favorite toy as a child. Maybe you go buy a fucking stuffed animal, silly as that sounds. Maybe I don't know what. But I want you to play with it. Maybe even talk with your wife about it. What do I need to do that would make me feel like I've gone back and I've saved that boy because no one fucking saved me? I'm going to go back and make him feel safe. I want you to daydream that. Just start jotting down notes. What do I wish someone would have done for me back then? Well, then that's what I'm going to go back and do. But the bottom line is, you at the very least in your journaling, you got to call out mom and dad for the parents that they weren't. I don't give a shit what kind of relationship you have with the living, breathing people today. I don't care. That has nothing to do with anything. What I do care about is that you acknowledge that the parents they were then and the parents even that they are today ain't parenting. It's not. You can still get along with them. You can go to fucking bowling league with them. You can do whatever the fuck you want. But you got to call that shit out. Why? Because you're still protecting the people who have hurt you most. So you're fundamentally saying, I'm now going to protect mom and dad at the expense of the boy. Now it's you committing the crime against the little boy. Time to stop protecting the abuser and stand up and protect the abused. And that act alone is you changing the entire family myth system. Does that make sense?
It does.
I still want one feeling word before we go.
Relief.
And what do you feel most relieved of?
Did someone else acknowledge the feelings that I've been feeling, and that they make sense,
It does. And the truth is, the person that really acknowledged it was you, motherfucker. You acknowledged it. And It was hard. And you did something that was very hard. You didn't want to acknowledge that about your dad. You didn't want to go into the fact that mom didn't love me or very little, and even now it's even worse. You didn't want to, so it was you that acknowledged it. Yeah, I gave you a swift kick in the ass, but you were the one that did it. So you had the courage, Daddy-O. Good boy. I'm proud of you. All right. I want to thank you so much, Claudio, for coming on the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
You betcha. Rob, any final thoughts?
I'm in touch with my 80-year-old self because I'm almost there. But seriously, kudos to Claudio for being a 37-year-old man who's so willing to go so deep, which makes me very optimistic about his healing and his future. Yeah. And I would say that going deep can and should be part of bro culture. So bring it on.
Well, and in fact, it is. And in fact, that's actually a really interesting point, that this dude, regular guy, he did a great job. He was able to name feelings. He was able to go deep to your exact point.
Impressive.
It's very impressive. And that's a note to all the women out there who say, are there any great guys out there? Well, not this one. This one's taken. But
that's taken.
Right. But the point is that there are great guys out there, even if they are taken. And he has friends. Do you think he hangs around with total duds? No. His friends are probably similar and so forth. So there are a lot of great men out there who take this shit seriously, and it's more and more and more. All right. Claudio, thank you again for coming on the show.
Thank you. No problem.
You bet. And to all my listeners out there, I want to thank you for listening in. On behalf of my team and on behalf of the listeners, I want to thank Claudio for his courage. So on behalf of everyone, go ahead and slay those fucking demons, guys. Have a kick-ass day.
The Badass Counseling Show is strictly copyrighted. No copies may be made without the express written consent of the Badass Counseling Show, LLC. The Badass Counseling Show is produced by Karen Camparelli and Robert H. Friedman. Executive producer Sven Erlandson. Original music by two-time Emmy Award-winning composer Trevor Morris. Have a kick-ass day.